Well, good day, viewers, and welcome to the Sport Tribe Show. I'm your host, Brian Munango, updating you on the latest sports news. Well, before we do get into the hit list, one thing that I can mention is Senegal beat England. This is for the first time in England's history that they do lose to an African team. So big ups to African teams. And Jamie Carragher that was saying the AFCON is not a major trophy. What are we saying now? You know? So huge congratulations for Senegal to Senegal for beating England 3-1. Well, first up on the hit list, we have the Brave Warriors. We know that the Brave Warriors were eliminated from the COSAFA Cup 2025 after falling in the final to Angola last year, where we lost 5-0. And we didn't lose any group stage matches. With this one, we drew the first match against Angola, drew the second match, and then won the third match against Lesotho, where the boys won 3-0. A comfortable win, ending second in the group, but only one team from a group of 4 qualifies to the knockout stages, and Angola is that team. So very unfortunate for the team that has won this competition before, but I'm sure the team will bounce back stronger. Colin Benjamin held a press conference after the match, and these are some of the things that he had to share.
So that we can widen the pool of players that we can choose from in Namibia. We gave a debut to a 19-year-old who played today. It's the first time that he played at this level. The previous game was a Lesotho, so where you actually can see that the level of athleticism and the intensity of the games are much higher than what they used to at home. And with that said, that's we saw, and we're hoping that the players are going to take away and just keep on improving. We get the result, the positive results today, but it means more than that you have to work even harder and do much more than you are asked to do.
What does this do for your team overall in terms of the World Cup qualifiers coming around the block in July? And over and above the pool that you speak to, is it the depth that you need to qualify for the World Cup?
I think, we're allowed to dream, it's for free, but the work that we have to put in, that is a reflection in the message that you want over to the players, that it's not only when you're on national duty that you do the work is done before. And those are the lessons that you want to take away from this tournament. We had good opponents in these 3 matches, and there's definitely a growth that happened in terms of player development. If I look at a player like Sergio Damaset, that is for the first time now playing in defensive midfield, and the power, the strength that he showed, that is really commendable. Cisco Haraset, that we're trying to get into the fold, that was somehow solid, but we need to now see what is the next step for him. Against the ball, he's doing good, now he's with the ball, and in these phases. Those are the things that we're taking away from, that we want to take with into the competitive games which we can face in September.
Right, Coach, we will open it up to the members of the media to give you questions and indeed also interact with our colleagues. We'll have 2 rounds of Q&A. If there are any questions, please signal by showing your hand and indeed posing your questions to the coach.
Coach, we started the tournament with 2 draws, and coming to this game, what was your plan, Coach?
Yeah, I think, like I said, with the games, we all want to win. We all want to win because through winning, the players grow in confidence. But also at the same time, we know that through defeats, that's also when you take the hardest lessons. And we take these 2 games, these 3 games that we had as lessons, and we're going to obviously also sit, analyze them properly, see individually what is it that we did good, and then minimize obviously the mistakes that we did. I can tell you for a fact that even in today's game, I think that we could have held the ball a bit better. we had instances when Jocelyn Tukana is 1-against-1 in the last third with the opponent. Why should you try and kick? Why don't you take it one? Why don't you go the 1-against-1? Those are some of the lessons. Bevan Kapi was 19 years old on the side. You're breaking the line. You have to bring in that cross. That is your job. And those are some of the lessons that we're taking in on the individual space that we have to try and get over to the players and learn. Also know that these are young players. They played a good game, and you know how it is. Sometimes you think you're on top of the world. We have to keep them grounded, and it's important for them to keep on working. It never stops.
All right.
Yes. Coach, Lesotho seems to be in the upper hand in terms of ball possession for the first half. Coming to this second half, you seem
Well, regardless of the result or the team being eliminated from the COSAFA Cup, I think Colin Benjamin should be proud of his side because they did not lose a match and they went out in style with the match against Lesotho. Now we focus on the World Cup qualifiers, and the dream is still alive for the Brave Warriors to qualify for the first ever World Cup. Sticking with the chats of football, Rundu Chiefs have gained promotions to the Debmarine Premiership for the first time in a very, very long time, and these guys have been celebrating, making sure that it is known that they are happy to return to the Debmarine Premiership, and they are as confident as saying they want to win the Debmarine Premiership, not just participate. So the chairman did host an event. This was covered by one of our journalists, Philippus Joseph, and this is what he had for us.
Who makes this club to be where it is today, which is through a family, and that is united, built on passion, commitment, and mostly pride. Each person who has been part of this movement and left a mark, it is a collective effort that brought us, or that brought the team to where we are today. To my players, or to our players, look, it was not easy to be where we are today. You fought hard through thick and thin, hiccups and all those stuffs, but we managed to emerge victorious. You were disciplined, resilience, teamwork, and unwavering commitment that you guys had. I thank you very much.
I think we now have Julinho FC and Rundu Chiefs. Rundu Chiefs has a huge support, as I know, in Rundu, so I'm sure they are very excited with the fact that they are back in the Debmarine Premiership, or they'll be featuring in the Debmarine Premiership for the first time after the league was renamed. Moving on to our third story for the day, the CVA Volleyball League took place this weekend at the showgrounds. Marin Ngula was the reporter on duty with a few interviews, so please sit back and enjoy.
My name is Andrea Scali, and I'm captain of Fabagati. We played the first match with Cow. Yeah, it was amazing game. My boys were not passing. It was kind of, they were confused, something like that. But I'm sure that in the next game, we're going to perform. We're going to pass well. Yeah, we're going to enjoy the game.
With Sam Ngilima, the captain of City of Windhoek. So, Sam, what do you make of that win?
I'm proud. We won 3-0. We had a competitive team, but they lost. But it's a good team that we played with. So I appreciate my team players and also our opponents. And since they are still kids, I wish them all the best in the next games. And we learned a lot from them, discipline-wise and teamwork. So we want to get that from them and then use it to our team to win our next games. So volleyball is nice. You're welcome to come watch. We still have more games to play. So yeah, it was okay.
Cool.
Well, the Namibia Tennis Association hosted the senior tournament this past weekend at the Olympia Tennis Courts, with the finals prevailing in Piri, winning it, and the doubles also was a spectacular event that took place. We did have Mariet Ngula as the reporter on duty, who just caught up with the champions, and he did get some interviews for us, so let's have a look at those.
Hi, my name is Guvi Hinda. We just finished the men's finals doubles. We took the W. It was a very good match, very long match. It was 3 sets. First set, we started off a bit slow because they played very well. Second set, he played so good, like couldn't believe it, making incredible angles. And third set, we just stayed solid, stayed with him. And that's kind of what helped us get the W today. Yeah.
My name is Johan Tron. We had a good match. First set was tough. They were playing good serves, good volleys, everything. But then from the second set, we just played good. I just want to say thank you to Johan Tron Tennis School, and thank you to Technifiber for sponsoring me. Thank you.
Yeah, with Dixon Fury, he just won the NTA senior tournament. Dixon, you couldn't make it to the doubles finals, but you went ahead and clinched the overall title in this one. How does that feel?
First of all, I didn't expect this win from me, because I'm a little bit injured, having a tennis elbow on my right arm, so I couldn't get my shots going. And I'll say it's luck for me to win, because otherwise nothing was working and my shots just couldn't, play like the way I played. Ending in the ball placements because I had an injury. And yeah, so.
Okay, I mean, you've come this far, or went on to face the tennis sensation Johan Teron. He's just 13 years old. What did you make of your game with him?
With my, according to how he plays, he's such a good tennis player growing up with tennis. And, I would like to say, he must continue with the same spirit that he plays, but such a youngster coming up with some good shots. That's what I would encourage the boy to keep on playing the game, because it's really good for him and he's still young, to get to the seniors in Namibia, finals and stuff. Yeah.
Right. No, great stuff. I was reading our comments today, this morning, about the interviews I did with you yesterday, having made it to the finals, and one of the comments said, you are Johan Teron's coach. Is that true? Are you his coach?
Yes.
Okay.
I mostly, rally with him and get his shots going. Because I'll say playing with me, he's gonna improve a lot, and the other level has to grow up, because the type of the ball that I hit, he needs to get used to it so that he can perfect his shots in future, so that he can become a good tennis player as he is to now. And I would like to say, thank you for the sponsors who have sponsored the tournament to be possible and stuff.
Right. No, Dixon, congratulations on the win. Is this your first senior tournament win, or?
This is my second.
Oh, your second.
Yeah.
When was the first?
This year. My first was in March, I think.
Oh,
March, I think. Yeah, March.
March this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, Dixon, congratulations.
Thank you.
Cool.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts. Starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more. Or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
So for Athletes World, we'll be having a look at one of the episodes where Andrew and I conquered the Nedbank Cycle Challenge 20 kilometers. I'm telling you guys, that one was not easy. So we'll be going for a short break. And right after that, you guys can see how the experience was of taking on 20 kilometers. I'm telling you, it's not an easy one because your butt after the whole event. Oh, yeah. But please do stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Well, viewers, and just like that, we are back with another episode of Athletes World. Like I told you guys earlier on in the first episode, this season we're doing things very, very differently compared to season one. First and foremost, we have our Team Mani Bike shirts on. As you guys can see in the top corner of the screens, this episode would not be possible if it wasn't for Mani's Bikes Mecca. They made all of this possible for us. Before I do introduce Andrew to you guys know who he already is. We decided for the second episode of Athletes World, we'll be taking on the 20-kilometer Nedbank Cycle Challenge. So both of us have not been on bikes in the last decade or more. So we just decided, you know what, let's try out the 20Ks and see how that goes. And courtesy of Nedbank, they also made that possible, made us enter for free or paid on our behalf. So we are very grateful for Nedbank Namibia as well. And if you guys don't know, people don't really know much about Mani, Andrew. Can you please give them more info and detail on who Mani is and why we are so grateful for him for this episode?
Yeah, so Mani, I think was one of the leading sports figures in the 1990s and early 2000s, and so went to 3 Olympic Games for Namibia as a mountain biker. So the first Namibian mountain biker to qualify for the Olympics. So you could say he was the Alex Miller of his time. Anyway, his retirement, also been a big figure behind the scenes, sponsoring cycling teams in the local series and whatever, along with Ollard and Cycletech and all those other teams and whatever. So also helping the next generation of cyclists to come up. So he's been a big figure in Namibian cycling, also former president of the Namibian Cycling Federation.
Yes, I think that's what I wanted to touch on. He was definitely the president of the Cycling Federation at some point. And if you were ever at a Nedbank, there's a dash. If you were ever at the start, you'll always see him in front, always making sure that the riders always leave safe and always making sure that everything is fine. So, courtesy and big thank you to Mani's Bikes Mecca for sponsoring us with some wonderful mountain bikes for our road racing event that I'm very excited for. And like I said, Nedbank Namibia as well for coming on board and just making sure that the boys are sorted. So we're gonna have a quick short clip of Mani just telling him thank you for sponsoring us with these beautiful bikes, and then we'll show you guys how the journey goes down of riding 20 kilometers, mind you, after like after like a decade or like 13, 14 years. So please do stay tuned as we get right into it. Okay, so we are joined by Mani. Mani, thank you for sponsoring us with the bikes. Without you, it would have been possible. Just tell us, how does it feel for you to be a part of the Nedbank Cycle Challenge and for helping us out with the bikes?
Yeah, well, I mean, they say I wasn't on the bike. I wasn't really involved with this except for helping you guys out with some bikes to get a real feeling of what it's like, you know, to get on the bike 20 kilometers. I think that's what you guys did. Yeah, so happy I could have assisted you guys to get some good stories, and you know, that's what it's all about. the racing snakes in front. That's important, but we also need to look after the guys at the back and all the newbies. And yeah, that's what I want to help.
Okay, well, we did enjoy the ride. The bikes were amazing. For the viewers that are watching from home, just tell us if they want the bikes. I know Manny's Bikes can definitely sort you out with everything. Just give us a bit of information as to where they can find you and how they can get the bikes.
Yeah, well, I mean, Manny's Bike Maker. We're in Saidorov, Acacia Street, 16 Acacia Street. Yeah, so, you know, we open there 6 days a week. And, you know, it's not just about selling bikes. It's also about giving advice and servicing bikes. So, you know, if anybody's got questions or want to have advice, just pop around in Saidorov and we'll sort you out.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Manny.
Thank you very much.
Delcia, so as I told you earlier, it looks like I'll be taking part in the Nedbank Cycle Classic. Okay, so I'm doing the 20Ks. When last did I ride a bike? I think last year. Last year I was preparing for the Nedbank Cycle Classic before the unfortunate passing, yes, of our president, Dr. Hage Geingob. But I need some tips. I need some tips on how to take on this challenge because I have a lot of doubters that I need to prove wrong.
No, we're going to prove them wrong.
We're going to prove them wrong.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Firstly, I would say pace yourself.
Okay.
Like, don't try and go with the front bunch because they always go fast and then they start fading.
Okay.
So, yeah, go at a pace that you feel you can go for 20 kilometers.
Okay.
And then you're not doing any climbs, so that's okay. So you're going basically flat road up until Elisnaam.
Okay.
And then when you turn, it's a little bit of a drag up. So, but I mean, if the wind is good, if the wind is from the back, then that's fine. That's good. That's good.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news and starting off with soccer news first. It is a soccer game in the international friendly that was played in Nottinghamshire in England. It was Senegal with a brilliant win. They beat England in a friendly game by 3-1. Significant win because it's the first time ever that a team from Africa have beaten England in an international soccer team for men. And it was early that England scored first in the 7th minute. It was Harry Kane that made it 1-0 for England. But then just before half time it was Senegal that scored again in the 62nd minute, their second goal, and then the 3rd minute of injury time. It was 3-1 for Senegal, an impressive win. So that's also the first time ever that it is a loss for coach Thomas Tuchel. He's the new coach of England and just 1 year to go before the World Cup starts. So lots of work to be done for England. Staying with football, English Premier League transfer news, and it's Liverpool that confirmed that Florian Wirtz will go for a medical, and that's good news for Liverpool. They look to be set to sign him. He's from Bayern Leverkusen, and he's a very important player that Liverpool need, and he will be signed for 127 million euros, so it's very expensive. He plays in the midfield, and he's 22 years old, and he plays for Germany. Also, Arsenal that confirmed that they've agreed terms, that is with Real Sociedad, that is to get the midfielder from Spain, that is Martin Zubimendi, to play for Arsenal next season. That is for estimated 60 million euros. On to tennis news, and the clay court season is done now after the French Open. It's on to grass now leading up to Wimbledon, and it's the Queen's Tournament that's taking place in London, and the number 1 seed in the women's division there is Qinwen Zheng of China, number 2 is Madeline Keys, and number 3 seed is Emma Navarro of the USA. One result in the first round is Emma Raducanu of Great Britain, a good and easy win against Cristina Basca of Spain. The score there 6-1 and 6-2. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is the US Open that starts on Thursday. That is golf, men's golf on the PGA Tour, and much anticipated. 3 South Africans will play in the tournament. It will be Eric van Rooyen, also Christian Besaidnout, and also Tristan Lawrence. They will be playing, representing South Africa in the US Open, and the defending champion in the tournament is Bryson DeChambeau. So that's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.